After a tough loss to TCU, were the Red Raiders able to have a good game against Baylor? Was Texas Tech soccer able to finish off the season with a win? What are the expectations for Texas Tech basketball as their season comes up soon? And what can we expect going into the NBA draft? Find out next. MCTV Sports 101 starts now. Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to MCTV Sports 101. I am Austin C.
And I'm Ryan Heller. Texas Tech football came up on top against the Baylor Bears 24-23. The Red Raiders found themselves down at halftime 13-6, but they were able to come on strong in the end by outscoring the Bears 18-10 in the second half. They got the victory off a game-winning 25-yard field goal from new starting kicker Jonathan Garibay. Alan Bowman came in a second time for Henry Colombi when he injured his elbow for the second time early in the third quarter, and ended up passing for 181 yards. Austin, what was your take on the game?
Stressful. I'll say that. Very, very stressful.
You took the words out of my mouth.
I thought Alan Bowman looked good, especially coming off the bench. Colombi, I don't know if he's been in a funk these past few games or what, but he hasn't been looking all that great. I thought our rushing attack with Sir Roderick Thompson and then the freshman Taj Brooks scoring 2 touchdowns. I thought it looked good. I thought the defense looked great.
His future looks bright, Taj Brooks, by the way.
Yeah, the future looks bright for Texas Tech. I will say that. I'm not confident at saying that going into the Oklahoma State game, but as far as this game, I thought it looked good. I thought the kicker looked great. I think it was perfect on the season, if I'm not mistaken, or for the game at least. So I thought the game looked good. There was a few things that I thought they could have fixed, but overall, I thought they had a very, very good team, especially coming back from behind.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know about you, but to me, as far as the quarterback spot, this game felt like a game of musical chairs. It was like Colombi, then Bowman, one throw, one interception. Okay, back to Colombi. Oh, he gets it. Okay, well, then back to Bowman. It was like, okay, Lord, Wells, whoever, make up your mind. Who are you putting in? But you know what? But overall, I like that Bowman showed strides of what he can do, because let's face it, he has been plagued with injuries. He hasn't.
Yes.
It's been kind of tough for him to get on his feet.
Not good for you. 2 collapse lungs, not good for you, obviously.
Obviously, no. I mean, like since then, it has been tough for him to get back on his feet. And I feel like this game, the fact that he was able to help them come from behind, get a lot of good shots downfield, passing-wise, I feel like maybe he is starting to get back on. Maybe that's what he needed, a couple games to really get back to his groove, letting Columbia start. Maybe that's what he needed. Who knows? Yeah. But like overall, I thought it was an even game. Both teams were 6 for 16 on third down conversions, both 6 penalties each. But yeah, overall, I thought it was an even game. And you know what? Maybe that's what we needed, to have a little spark and have a game-winning field goal by Jonathan Garibay, the new starting kicker. Yeah. Now, I figured he was going to take in to replace Trey Wolff, because he's just been slumping. I did not expect him to replace Austin McNamara at punter. That surprised me, because McNamara is voted one of the better punters in the Big 12. So that shocked me, but maybe he'll be back next week. Who knows?
Garibay, you got to give him props. MVP of the game, 4 for 4. Two of them were over 45-yard field goals.
Absolutely.
And then obviously the 25-yarder game winner.
Absolutely. Props.
So MVP to him. Got to give props to him. Well, Texas Tech soccer finished off its season with a 2-0 loss to the Kansas State Wildcats on on Friday. The Red Raiders were very aggressive as they outshot Kansas State 28-13, but the Wildcats managed to keep Tech scoreless in the game. They did so by scoring 1 goal in the 35th minute and another in the 62nd minute. Coach Tom Stone said, "We're disappointed to have to say goodbye to some seniors tonight. We're always disappointed to do that, but this certainly isn't how we wanted it to feel. But they had great careers here, and they'll always be Red Raiders." He still shows optimism about the future of the Red Raiders ball club. So, Ryan, I ask you this. What do you think went wrong in this game?
You know, I'm really not sure. I think maybe one thing
is really, because I could name a few.
I mean, like, considering that they missed that really, really possible goal that they had, it's in the 6th minute, that can hurt the momentum. But here's what really confused me. They totally outshot them, like you said. And I'm going to give these 3 categories. 28 to 13 shots to Tech, 9 to 5 shots on goal to Tech, 11 corner kicks to 2 for Tech, yet somehow they still lost. That's a little puzzling.
Well, you got to give credit to the K-State goalkeeper. She had 9 saves, 5 in the first half, 4 in the second half. So you got to give credit. The 9 shots that were on target, she saved all 9 of them. Where Madison White saved, of the 5 shots on target going into Tech's goal, Madison White obviously saved 3 out of those 5, but she didn't save the 2 that were necessary. Plus, I could tell you exactly what went wrong in that game. You had defender Hannah Anderson get 2 yellow cards.
Which is a little odd to see.
I mean, I understand. I don't think we've had. This is the first red card I think in the entire season that we've been covering Tech soccer.
Yeah.
And they do get a lot of yellow cards. I will admit that they had 2 players, number 0, which doesn't list a name, which don't blame me in the comment section for that. But that's a little miscommunication on our part. And then number 14, Hannah Anderson, who had a yellow in the 45th minute, and then another yellow in the 56th. 2 yellows equal a red. Bada bing, bada boom. She's out. You're on a 10-man squad now. So that obviously helped K-State get that second goal in the 62nd minute. But you got to give props to K-State's goalie and their defense for obviously keeping the ball out of their goal. So there's a lot of problems you can argue. Not a proper offseason for Tech's soccer.
That's one thing for sure.
The COVID shutdown, you could argue. You could argue that having many players with COVID. I mean, there's a list. Pull out the scroll. But, I mean, it is
the genie from Aladdin. You got a list 10 miles long.
It is what it is. They obviously had a pretty rough season, and obviously I think that they want to come back stronger next season. So we'll see how it goes.
And I think they certainly can because, like, you look at their recruiting list. There's got like 11 really good.
Oh yeah, they've got some really good recruits coming their way, and I think it's going to be the future. I agree with his optimism. The future does look bright for Texas Tech soccer.
And next year they should have an actual off season without COVID. So
yeah,
there's always that.
Hopefully.
Well, pretty much by this time next week, around that, we will have college basketball again.
Thank God.
With everything going on, in this crazy year of 2020, the Red Raiders will try to give us something to cheer about. The men's basketball team is anxious to start a new season after last year's postseason was canceled due to COVID-19. Their season will start on November 25th against Northwestern State, and they will start this year ranked number 14th in the AP polls. Austin, what are your expectations for them this season, and how far do you think this team can go?
Well, I think the same thing last year. I think this team looks like they could go all the way. I personally believe they'll make it to the Final Four again. Coach Chris Beard obviously is doing his thing again with bringing in those transfers. You got the biggest one, in my opinion, is Mac McClung,
of course,
coming out of Georgetown University. He's got returning starters such as Terrence Shannon, who's a sophomore this year. He's got Kyler Edwards, who he had on that
championship run.
Thank you, that championship run. He's got a senior. Where is he? Marco Santos Silva, who I believe is the only senior on the squad. Yep. Avery Benson, who's been with him since he came to Tech. Kevin McCullough, who came back from last year's squad. Natambe, who I believe came back from last year's squad. He's got a new rookie from Russia, Vlados Golden. He's got a very, very talented squad, and what it looks like to me is that this year's squad looks taller than last year's squad. I'll say that. I think last year,
which is a little weird considering we only have one guy that's over 6'9", and that's the Russian Vladislav Golden,
who's 7'1" at 240 pounds. Yes, but you also have am I saying his name right? Natambe?
Joel Natambe, I believe.
Natambe.
The transfer from UNLV.
Yes. 6'8". Chizibo Agbo, 6'7". Who's another? 6'6", Kevin McCullough, 6'7", Marto Silva, Tyreek Smith, who's also 6'7", Micah Peavy, 6'7". I mean, he's got some tall guys. He's got a lot.
The more reason why I really think Golden needs to be, if he really is good, if he shows this off season that he can play some minutes, I think that they really need to make him possibly even a starter.
You're looking at a defense. You're looking at the defense that you had in that championship run with Owens and
Odiase.
Thank you.
They were both over 6'8".
Huh?
Both of them were over 6'8".
Both of them were over 6'8". And if you can get Joel Natambe and then Vlados Goldov playing together, you've got a 6'8" and a 7'1" dude in your backcourt that will be very hard to deal with it, especially
Because as far as the
going
guard
into
position,
the
I
season.
think that they're covered as far as the guard position. I mean, you got some really good guards, both freshmen and also returners.
Yeah, and
So that's
based
gonna
off
be-
the schedule, the only two, there's a few ranked teams that I'm worried about. Now, obviously, the big one is Kansas, and then obviously number 17, the Houston Cougars. But it's going to be interesting. I have high expectations for the Tech basketball season this year.
I do too.
Well, after an extended season and an NBA Finals that took place in October, we now have the NBA draft a month later. The draft will take place on Wednesday in Southington, Connecticut. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. With so many good players available and so many mock drafts having different opinions, it will be interesting to see who goes where. So, Ryan, do you see any possible surprises in this draft? And also, where do you see Jemias Ramsey ending up?
Well, first off, with Jemias, I see him ending up as either with the Raptors or the Bucks. Now, like as a Rockets fan, and I'm sure you say the same as a Mavericks fan, we kind of don't want him going into the Southwest Division because, me personally, I don't want to face a Red Raider 4 times a year, which is why I was happy Culver got drafted by the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
But I see him going with either the Bucks or possibly the Raptors because I think that he'd be a good fit for them, especially the Raptors. You know, with Nick Nurse being a coach from the G League before. Maybe he's got some tips that can help Ramsey, possibly.
And they've also obviously have a good team as well, making it to the Final Four when you've got Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, what's his name?
The guy from Cameroon, New Mexico State.
Yeah,
Pascal Siakam.
Yep,
Pascal
thank
Siakam,
you.
that's
I
his
couldn't think of his name for a second.
Me neither.
I'm having a lot of trouble today. I don't know why. But anyway, that obviously would be a good team for him. Right now, the mock draft I'm looking at, they have him going 33rd overall to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That could be an interesting play. Minnesota, I truly believe they need a center more than they do a shooting guard. I'm sure Culver is having a lot to say about Jemias Ramsey, so that
Probably.
could be why they have him going to Minnesota. Could be, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for Jemias Ramsey. As far as like surprises, LaMelo Ball in the top 5, I'm somewhat surprised by that. I thought he'd be more or less a top 10. We'll show you later in the Who You Got of what we're doing for this week, but that's an interesting choice for me. What about you?
To me, the real interesting thing is who's going to pick Obi Toppin, because there are a lot of mock drafts because there's some that have him going as high as 2, and there's some have him going as far back as like 8 or 9. So that's going to be interesting to see with him.
The one I'm looking at, Obi Toppin, right now he's 5. The way I see it, he's got 5. They have him at 5 going to Cleveland, according to the NBADraft.net.
That's going to be interesting.
Patrick Williams heading to Atlanta out of Florida State. Who's another? The USC player Onikwa Ongoku going to Charlotte. So it's going to be interesting to see, and we'll explain this later in the Who You Got.
There's also Anthony Edwards. There's a lot. At first, there was a lot that said that he could be the number 1 overall pick easy. But then over the last couple of weeks, they're saying a lot of mock draft people saying, "Oh, I don't know, maybe not him number 1." So that's going to be interesting as well.
It will be, but we now have time. It's now time for Who You Got. And as far as our records go, my brother, I am 15-14. You are 19-10. We still have 2 games left: the Impact and
Revolution.
And then we also have the what was it? The
we have the Premier League. Between Liverpool and...
Oh, the number 3 versus 2, the 1v3 matchups. Yes, I forgot about that one.
I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
Leicester
so
City?
that'll be on Sunday, so we still have those 2 matchups. For those of you asking why are we doing this, this is officially our last show for this semester.
Yep.
Ryan, you are obviously graduating this year, so we will miss you dearly.
Oh, I didn't have tears.
Yeah, so we are obviously we're going to have 2 extra topics, so 7, including the 5 we got. But
this one's going to be NBA Draft Edition.
Yes, but this is going to be our NBA Draft Edition, and this is going to count towards our overall score. So this is winner takes all here. But to start off, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves with the first overall pick going to, Brian?
I'm going to go with LaMelo Ball here with the first overall pick going to the Timberwolves. I'm thinking so because, I'm thinking they already got Culver at the 2 guard. They already got Cat at the big man position. I'm thinking they need a point guard. And I think that LaMelo Ball is going to be perfect for them, considering the fact that he has been playing overseas, playing full games, not just 30 games seasons in college basketball. Because he's been playing pro in Australia for a few years now. So I think that he is going to be NBA ready, and I think that he can help Cat a ton. So I think he's going to go to the Timberwolves. What about you?
Well, first of all, I disagree with you 100%. I don't think he deserves a number 1 overall pick. It
Okay.
could just because of the baggage his family brings.
Oh,
Now,
of course. Okay, fair point.
yeah. Now, I also don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves need a point guard right at this moment because there are a lot of moves in free agency that I've seen. So Chris Paul going to the Suns being one of them, and then Harden going to the Nets is another one that I've heard. But my pick is going to be James Wiseman.
Really?
Yes, I'm picking him because 7'1", center, out of Memphis. And I think the Minnesota Timberwolves, they need a 1-2 combo to go with Karl Anthony Towns. I think if you have a 1-2 combo, with Anthony, if you move Anthony to the power forward and you put Wiseman at center and you get Jarrett Culver and you get those two guys to develop more, you've got a 3-man squad that can obviously do some damage in that league. So I got Wiseman going number 1 overall.
Actually, I don't know, man. That's an interesting choice from hearing from you. I don't know. Well, anyway, up next we have the 2nd overall pick going to the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I know. The Golden State Warriors in this day and age have the number 2 pick. I know, it's weird. Austin, who you got?
This one I actually do have Anthony Edwards going 2nd overall to the Golden State Warriors.
Interesting, okay.
I believe him coming out of Georgia, him being 6'5", shooting guard. He's obviously got competition with Klay Thompson returning, and then Stephen Curry, and then Draymond Green.
Yeah.
I think you can move him around to the 3-man, to the shooting guard, or to the shooting guard, or to a powered forward spot. You could switch him around in the 3-4 spot. But I got Wiseman going to Golden State. I like that matchup.
Really, you got James Wiseman?
Or Anthony Edwards. My mistake. I had Wiseman first of all. Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you see, me personally, this is where I disagree because the fact that they already have Klay Thompson, they have Steph Curry, they got guards. That's why I'm thinking number 2 pick is going to be James Wiseman because they could use a good center because they already got the guards, they already got Draymond Green the forward. This is where they could use James Wiseman, and not just the fact that James Wiseman. The fact that he's going to be on this Golden State Warriors team, this already loaded Golden State team, he can take some time to learn the game. He can take some time to learn under guys that have been there before. He can learn some post-mid stuff behind Draymond Green. He doesn't really, if he gets drafted by Golden State, he's not going to have to be thrown under the fire like, say, Edwards would have to be. So I think James Wiseman would really be the perfect one for Golden State, especially considering that he didn't really have a regular season. Forget a postseason. He didn't have a regular season, really. So, this would really, Golden State would be a good place for him to get his feet wet.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming at it from this. I just disagree. I think I kind of disagree with you. I think Golden State, with the system that they have, it's a good way for him to learn, and it's a good way for him to develop. But it is what it is. Moving on, we have the 3rd overall pick going to Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets. Ryan, who you got?
You know what?
I don't know why that one felt weird, but who you got?
I'm going to go with Obi Toppin on this one.
Okay.
You know what? I really think that he's a good fit. I just do. I mean, I think it's a really good fit for them. You know, he's one of those guys that's like a big man, but like is still very versatile. Mm-hmm. Can run the transition if you need him to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust his 3-ball really, but
you have him at that power forward slot, so obviously you could move him around from power forward to center, like you said. Can play the transition ball very, very well. So it's obviously going to be very good. I'm going to agree with you. This is I think the only one we agree on.
Yeah.
I'm also going Obi Toppin to Charlotte. I think at his height, 6'9", 220, power forward from Dayton. I think it's a good fit for Charlotte, like you said. Plays the transition really well. You could switch him from power forward to center if you need to for a couple minutes or during a game, maybe in the 2nd quarter or something. So obviously, I think it's a good fit for him going to Charlotte.
Plus, he's also a really good scorer. He's averaged 20 points a game. So he's the guy that if you need him to really bring up the offensive game, he can do that for you.
I agree.
Which I think is going to be good.
Yep.
And for the 4th overall pick, we have the Chicago Bulls. Austin, who you got?
See, this is where I think you and me are going to disagree a lot on because you had LaMelo Ball going number 1 overall.
Yeah.
I have him going 4th overall. I have him going 4th to the Chicago Bulls. I think they need more. I think they're in more need of a point guard than Minnesota is at this moment. At this current moment, I think I agree with you 100%. I think him playing in the Australian League, he's ready for the NBA. He's got that big game, big moment experience. He can obviously lead a team I think he can lead a team pretty decently. I'm not a fan of the baggage that he brings with his family.
It's just really his father more than anything.
Let's not bring him into this show, please.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I've got LaMelo Ball going number 4 overall to the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, see me, I'm going to go with the guy from Israel, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Denny Avdija. I think I got his name right, Denny Avdija. What I like about him is that, like, the same thing with LaMelo Ball. He's been playing pro ball for a while. He's 19 years old. He's 6'8", so he's a very big-bodied guy.
Yeah.
Which is one thing I really like about him, and he's very versatile. You know, like he's a guy that can ball handle. You know, like a guy that can really create his own shot. He can create shot for other people, and also he's got a not too bad perimeter shot as well.
Yeah. So
like I think he's a very versatile guy, and you know what? I think that Chicago could use him, very much so. And I don't know, man. I think that this day and age might be better to draft 19-year-olds that have been playing pro for a while overseas and not just one and dones. That's just me.
Right. Well, finally, we have the 5th overall pick to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ryan, who you got?
Now, finally, I'm going to pick Anthony Edwards. I think that with Cleveland, I think that I don't know. Like I feel like Cleveland, he can sort of. I'm not going to say he'd be thrown into the fire instantly because Cleveland, they're not trying to win yet. They're trying to
rebuild ever since LeBron and all of them left. Yeah.
Right. So I think that that's really going to be his kind of deal over there in Cleveland. Plus, also, the guy averaged 19 points a game. So like he's not like a big time scorer, but he can get there. I'm not too crazy about like his 3-pointer though. Like that's one thing he's going to have to work on his 3-point shot. He's only like 29% from the 3.
Yeah.
But he's very dependable he's pretty dependable at the free throw line, about 77%. So I think that with Cleveland, he's not going to have to be the guy.
Yeah.
And also he can improve and maybe one day be the guy. And I think that this is going to be a good fit for him in Chicago.
Okay. I'm actually going to go with a weird one, or in your opinion, a weird one. I'm going to go with a guy named Onyike Ongoku.
What's weird about that is just the name. That's all.
And I apologize if he's watching this. I apologize for mispronouncing your name. But he's coming out of USC, freshman, averaging about 28 points per game. He's overall they gave him a 96. He's 6'9", 235. You can put him at the power forward or the center position at a Chino Hills, high school, Chino Hills, California. Obviously did very good with UFC. Like I said, 28, averaging about 28 points a game, or about 20 points a game. Got about 30 minutes on the floor out of USC. I think they need a big man. I kind of compare him to like Montrezl Harrell or John Collins.
I could see that.
Very strong, got the height with him. Could obviously move him at the power forward or center, depending on who else you get in the draft or who you get in free agency. But I got him going 5th overall to Cleveland.
Okay.
So, well, that's our show for this year or semester's edition of MCTV Sports 101. Ryan, my brother, it's been a blast having you. I hope you do well. Same as with AD. I hope you do well in your future endeavors.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it so much.
Join myself next semester for the latest big name stories in sports. I am Austin Seat.
And I'm Ryan Heller. And for the very last time, see you later. Hope you have a great winter break. Thanksgiving.
You missed the camera. Yeah,
I did that on purpose. I was tired of hitting the camera.